Hello, Toddbog here, and welcome to a new Let's Play of Conquest of Elysium 5. This is it, our final playthrough to get every class from Conquest of Elysium 5 onto the channel. We even got to squeeze in a new class that they introduced. That was my last playthrough, so if you haven't checked it out, definitely give it a view. Monkey Maharaja was a fun playthrough. A lot of interesting things going on with that class, and I'd be curious to see how I could flesh it out for a more quality playthrough for it next time instead of just exploring things and trying things. So I wonder how I'd focus it. Anyways, last class that we have to do in our entire collection is the Markgraf. Held it for last because we used it as our last one in Conquest of Elysium 4. That was our last playthrough for that one. So this will finish it up. So let's go ahead and get our game started. Just as always, this will be a beginner-friendly playthrough and will be played to completion. And then once we're complete with that, and this playthrough, we'll be going and trying out different challenges and different settings and scenarios to see what we can do. So, large map, I always do a random society. We'll go battle reports. That's very important if you don't know about them. You can set it up so it does it automatically, but I play against 6 opponents, so when you add all your opponents, you hit the plus key to change their difficulty. I go and count, where the enemy gets double the resources. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and choose our Markgraf. So, the Markgraf is interesting. It's a Hoburgher, which is essentially a halfling or a hobbit. But he decided that instead of being a goodly hobbit, he's going to instead become a necromancer. So, the Markgraf is kind of like a baron, forcing his people into serfdom and things like that, and then slowly building a force through the undead and things like that. So the Necromant, as it were. So the Markgraf's an interesting one. The biggest issue with the Markgraf is the same issue you have with the Hoburgher, is that you're slow. Every one of your units moves slower than every other army, and as a result, it becomes very hard to take control of the map in any realistic fashion. But we're going to try and work our way through. So Hoburgs are small and weak and move slowly. Big negative. They collect hands of glory from large villages and towns. That's your special resource. And you perform rituals. We can raise the dead at the cost of some sanity. So that's going to be important, especially early on. So we got this. We're good. Let's go ahead and name ourselves. And let's get going. All right. So Markman. So this is where we start. If you ever hover over a spot, hit I, you can look at what you got. So our starting location gives us 2 gold, 1 trade. So we're going to utilize that right away to get iron, I think. So let's go ahead and set that up here. Trade 1 for 1. So basically think how much gold you have each turn. So I can buy iron at 1 iron per 1 gold. So I'm going to be spending a gold per turn to get iron at this time. So we start with the Holberg Village, which gives us a good boost on income, and a farm, which gives us a boost on income as well. Starting army, we'll get that. We get our basic Hobmark soldier. They're basically really weak. So 3 things you want to look at for every unit is the hit points, armor, and spear, or weapon damage. So in this case, that's how much hit points you have. So just compared to a normal human soldier, this is half of what they start with. However, we do have armor, which is good. Every point of armor reduces damage taken by 1. And then a shield is in the special area, also adds another 0 to 1. So there's it blocks 1 to 2 damage every time you take a hit, 1 to 3 damage every time you take a hit from a ranged weapon. So, and then the weapon itself is 1 to 4 damage normally. However, because they're smaller and weaker, you actually subtract 1. And when you see that number, you actually subtract it from the top number. So it's 1 to 3 damage is what they're going to do. One thing about the damage rolls is if you roll max, so let's say you roll 3 in this case, you actually get to roll the die again and subtract 1 from that roll. And if you roll max, you can keep going. So theoretically, you could do unlimited damage. However, realistically, you're not going to do that very often. So you're just going to get some boosts to your damage, but you're not going to do massive amounts. So that's our basic troops with the spear. We've got a Hobmark defender. These guys are pretty good too because they've got short swords, so they do an extra point of damage. Otherwise, their stats are pretty much the same. Actually, those guys are higher strength, but it doesn't really matter here. The weapons are still weak. And they're kind of interspersed here. You can see them there. And then this is probably our lifesaver here, is the Hobmark crossbow. Extremely weak hit points, no armor, but they're going to be in the back rank shooting anyways. But they shoot crossbows, and the crossbows do 1 to 4 damage at a range of 5. And this is really big because that's a good damage boost for them compared to the rest of their troops. The range means you can get hordes of them, and they're more effective and able to do their damage more consistently. However, they only fire every other round, so they are weak in that regard. So get a horde of them, though, and they'll be able to defend walls and things like that. So, and this is myself. I'm the Markgraf himself. I've got a leadership 2, so everybody that I lead that's directly under my control will get a +2 to their morale, which is useful for certain things. If I get into melee, though, I'm pretty much toast, because that means my army is destroyed. I only have an armor and 7 hit points, so I'm just about as strong as a standard human swordsman, which is an improved version of their melee unit. But this is probably the reason why you want to play the class. So we've got a Necromant. He has necromancy spells. He can raise the long dead, so those are just skeletons. So he'll raise them for the battle to fight. We got disease. If you hit an enemy with it, they'll be weakened, so they'll have less damage on their attacks. And if you disease enemies and they still win the combat, that disease stays with them until they die, unless they have a form of regeneration. So disease can be a way to affect the enemy. Although if we get to that point, we're in trouble again. So hit the recruit. As you can see, a lot of different things to recruit here. But for the most part, you'll see that the some of these are just ones we'll never use. Hobmark Militia, not great. They're just doing 1 to 2 damage with their staff. They're cheap, though. Everything else costs iron, and that's the reason why you might have to use it. It's the reason why I need to buy iron. But these guys, you just get them. Now, what sets these guys apart, as you can see, is the numbers recruit. Normally, it's 5 for a recruit for all the human factions, which is kind of the baseline unit, how you can compare things. You get them in groups of 15 here, so you get a lot more bang for your buck, as it were. And then, as you can see, for the more elite guys, they're going to give you 10 per recruit. And then we got mounted as well. So Slingers, we saw what the crossbows can do. The Slingers only do 1 damage currently, and at a range of 4. So they're shorter range, doing less damage. Again, though, no iron cost, so that might be the reason to get them, just as a quick defense. Crossbows, as you can see, it costs 5 iron more. So if you have the iron, you're always going to get crossbows over Slingers. It's just the reality. Soldiers are good, 50 gold. We saw those. Those are the ones. Defenders we saw. So hammerers. This is something you only get with the Markgraf. You don't get it with the Hoburgher. But they get these hammers, and they can do 1 to 6 damage. So they're the most damaging troop you have. And they have 2 armor as well, so they're fairly well protected. So really good little unit, and something I might utilize going forward, depending. The Pikeneers are pretty good in that they have a long range, so they can actually attack from the second rank. And you'll see that in the combat, but that lets 2 rows of them attack instead of just 1 row, and I'll demonstrate. Again, 2 armor. Low hit points, though, so the armor doesn't mean that much. Now, Markgraf guards, though, are your most defensive unit, but just barely. This is less defensive than our friends in the non-necromancy side of the Hoburghers, because they get a small shield here, whereas the Hoburghers get a large shield. Otherwise, you get the 2 armor and the shield, and you have a short sword that does 1 to 4. So I'm not sure. I think I'd prefer hammerers over the guards, just because that extra damage might be useful. These are your mounted, the riding boars. These are nice in that they're not slow. So decent hit points, armor. They have a lance charge, 1 to 6 once per battle, and then a couple of attacks here. The boar itself doing the same damage as our friend with the short sword. So these are special things. We'll go through them later, but basically if you get skeletons raised, you can actually armor them up to make them a little stronger. Yeah, you'll be able to give them a little bit more survivability. This is probably my favorite, but it does require a magic resource, because the Banefire crossbow does 1 to 2 magic damage on top of the normal damage, and it causes decay, which if anybody's decayed, they're pretty much going to die. So that's really cool. And then this is our special little guy. He's a little captain. He's the one that's got a big shield, which does, it's twice as effective as a normal shield. He's got good armor, but yeah. And we'll worry about the catapult later. Anyways, so looking at our resources we have here right now, we can't take them. We're going to go ahead and take this farm first because we can't reach anything else anyways. So we're going to load everybody up. One last thing to look at is this. You can go ahead and hit the use special powers. And these are our abilities here. So we have Raise the Dead, which allows us to cast wherever there's corpses. And Reanimate Animals, which will do that as well, but for animals. And he says, feels a slight presence of the dead here. So we could do one set there. We don't need to right now, but that will be something we'll probably utilize soon. And then we can use Rituals of Mastery, getting our resource. Let us learn new rituals or level ourselves up. So right now we're level 1 Necromancer, but we can go to level 2 with that. So we're going to overrun them, so that's good. And then we're going to get over here so we can take this from the enemy. And you can see the reason why we want these is they give Hands of Glory, which we need for our rituals. So I think we got everything set up. Trade's good, and we'll go. So a couple things you have to be careful of. The 2 ways you lose is if you lose all your leaders, or if you lose your citadels. So right now we're playing it risky. We're taking everybody out so that we can go out and kill and take as many resources as we can because we need that faster start. I know with Hoburgher saying fast is a relative term. Oh, yeah, and actually let me rewind this battle here so you can see what the battle's like. So the battle starts, everybody moves. That's the first thing they always do, unless they can't move. And then everybody attacks if they're in range or do their abilities. So you can see he raised a long dead here. And these guys can range in equipment and abilities and things like that. Like this guy's actually fairly well equipped. He's got himself a spear and a shield. Sometimes they'll just come up with just bones, so no shield, no weapon or anything. And you see we're just shooting them with our crossbows. And that tapping sound you hear is a crossbow being reloaded. So, and that's it. And that's how combat goes. And everything's done based on initiative, but honestly, that's not something you'll have to worry about too much at this current time. Old battlefield. Yeah, we definitely want to do that. Oh, of course, there's freaking goblins there. And this might be the end of it for us. We'll see. Not much I can do. Good. The goblins didn't attack us. So I just sped it up because that was a pretty straightforward thing. These guys are cool. They do 1 to 4 damage. They have 10 hit points, so they're nothing special. These are all undead icons, so you can hover over them to get an idea what they do. But the Ghoul Claw, though, causes disease. And then if it... I think it... Oh, it ghoulifies. There you go. I was like, where is it? If it kills something, it will turn that something into a ghoul. So if you're not careful, you send a bunch of weak troops at them, it could definitely be bad news bears for you. So sometimes attacking these old battlefields will get you access to magic items. However, it also gives you access to a large number of dead. So, let's go ahead and raise some dead here, shall we? So as you can see, we got ourselves a decent-sized army there. Now what you want to do is you want to put your Necromancer under control of your leader, because your Necromancers will slowly grow insane. And that's a percentage chance that they won't be able to act. So right now, 13% of the time, he won't be able to move or do anything. I wouldn't be able to command him. So nothing. Oh, we have... So close. So close. Alright. Please don't kill me. Perfect. Alright. So now we have enough gold. We're going to drop crossbow. I don't have enough iron. Well, they're not nearby anymore. Most of the independents, which those goblins represent, can only move 1 space. So I'm going to risk it, wait for the extra iron, and once I get that, I'll be able to drop crossbows. That'll defend my walls fairly well. And then I don't have to worry about losing that way. So it's winter. Alright, let's go ahead and grab those crossbows. So, now we got ourselves a pretty sizable force. These guys are pretty bad, though. I was thinking maybe we could try and take this on, but I'd want to grab those crossbows if that's the case. And that might still be an option. But when it snows, it takes more movement points. So it takes 1 movement point normally for a plain, 2 for forest and hill, 3 for a mountain. When it snows, you add 1 to each of those. So unfortunately, as you can see here, we are going to be slow. And since we only have 2 action points, that means we're basically moving with less action points than we have. So right now, it basically takes away from future points. So in this case, I can't even move at all this turn because of how many action points I used just to move to that space. So right now, again, we're moving here. This normally would take 2. Now it takes 3. So next turn, I'll have 1 action point. And now it's spring. So, and then when you do have snow, any resources you have other than mines are halved. So you get half your resources from towns and villages if they're under snow. So there's our goblin dude. All right, let's see. How do we want to do this? How do we do it on gold? All right, let's be smart. Let's transfer 5 of you guys for now. We're gonna take them. Ooh, this will be a lot easier to take. So you got to be careful. As you see the sprite there, you can see just on the back the little crossbow he has there. These guys don't have it. So right now they're sitting at 3 crossbows. Yeah, that'll be where I want to go next, because this gives us some great resources here, a couple hands as well. The town, as you can see, gives us more gold, but this gives us more trade. No, actually, it only gives us 1 trade. Interesting. Is it because it's a pirate port, or maybe I'm just misremembering? Anyways, battle in the hills. Nice and easy. Alright, so next turn we'll be able to attack that. And next turn we'll be able to recruit more crossbows and probably take the town as well. So we're at 22. So let's bring Anselm back. What I want to do, I want to save up to 60 to get him to level 2, because you can get some fun things with level 2. So again, you want to keep him under control, otherwise his insanity will kick up and you'll have some problems. So this is a tower. It doesn't provide any resources, but it is another... Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to show off. It is another citadel. And like I said, if you lose your last citadel, you lose the game. So having those are great because they're recruit points, and they can prevent you from losing the game. So, wow, there's a lot of towers there. So, okay, we should do pretty well there. So when you're attacking walls, the walls themselves give defensive bonus and range bonus. So their crossbows are able to hit at a range of 6, and they get an additional... let's see, the wall cover value times 3 that will be subtracted from incoming range damage that's not armor negating. And the melee attacks will be 0 to 3 points regardless. So they're getting an extra 3 points of reduction to their damage, but because... Oh, let's view it. So you'll see they're doing some damage there. Our guys are pierce resistant because skeletons are hard to hit with bows. That just makes sense. But our other guys are not. And then when you take damage, you have a chance of getting a wound. This case, it's not my favorite wound. But you'll get afflictions like Lost Eye or chest wound, things like that. And that'll affect your hit points and things. So, and you can't be blinded. So overall, you can check your review. This is why you want battle reports on. You can check. We lost 1 Hobmark defender, but we killed all the pirates. So beautiful. So we can actually recruit ourselves the crossbows here. So we'll do that. We'll go ahead and drop 5 of them to defend. because the enemy will send out things. That one's got a ballista. So ballistas fire in the siege phase. So if you watch the battle, I'll demonstrate through this one again. You'll see the battle round counts from -15. So this is when ballistas and stuff fire in their siege phase. They fire every 3 rounds, so you're going to get about 5 shots off per ballista before the battle even starts. So it's the reason why you want siege weapons. It's a way of softening up the enemy before you do the fight. So 13 monkeys, huh? I kind of want to get to this coastal hamlet, so yeah, we'll kill the monkeys. Ooh, silver mine. These guys are tough. They're Pale One soldiers because they've got good hit points. This is their pretty much their standard spearmen, like our standard spearmen. But as you can see, we have 3 hit points. They have 10. They have the armor. They have a shield, and they hit for an extra point of damage because they're stronger. So 1 to 5 damage. However, they have bad sight, so they miss 1 in 5 attacks. So that's the balancing factor. Their absolute weakest troop is this guy, and he's still a good spearman. He just doesn't have the armor. He's running around naked with his shield, and he can throw rocks. So that's a bit much for what we've got, I think. Although with all the undead, I think we'll be okay. But this will also get us access to a mine, which, as you can see, gives us a lot of gold and some native iron. So, and then there's a bear and 4 giant spiders here. That's actually a lot easier to take. So, all right, we'll kill the monkeys. Alright. So, 3 cavalrymen. These guys are tough. They have 2 armor, a shield, 10 hit points. That lance charge does 1 to 10, and then they do 1 to 7 normally. So, but that's one time only lance charge. So, they're fairly tough. Nothing for our forces to be worried about. Right now, we can't really do much though, because the jungle takes 3 movement. So, Autumn's here. Yeah, let's take out this force here. And then we'll come and take the farm and coastal hamlet here. Essentially, your early game is going to be spent collecting resources as best you can. So, pretty easy. They killed 3 things. Spiders are pretty resilient. They've got a lot of hit points. 28 hit points. So, that's the equivalent of, like 7 of my guys in terms of hit points. 1 armor, so they're just as protected. And they've got poison. Poison does damage over time, but it does a lot. So you'll load it up on a guy, and they'll have like 17 poison damage, and then it'll just tick down over time. But otherwise, the bear, it's got 30 hit points and an armor. It can sleep during snow, so there's a chance that you'll find it when it sleeps, but it has 3 attacks. So that makes it a little more dangerous, but nothing crazy here, especially not for a silver mine. That's fantastic. So, yeah, I think we can take this. Shouldn't be a problem. We're losing all our Hoburgher guys, but yeah, definitely worth that fight. The crossbows will do them in for sure. So. So as you can see, just like I said, 10 kills were done by the crossbow. Oh, we actually got 5 with the long dead, though. Not bad. We did lose 7 guys, though, so our soldiers and defenders are definitely getting whittled down. So we'll probably look at replenishing them at some point. Or maybe just using more undead, because that's really all you need. So, but we got these 2 now. We're getting a good amount of iron, so we can recruit what we want. Decent amount of gold as well, so we're in pretty good shape right now. This we can overwhelm with crossbows, so we'll probably just do a recruit of crossbows here. At some point, I want the markmen, I think, if I remember correctly. It's been a little bit since I played, obviously, since I played every other class since the last time I played this. That winter's here. Doesn't affect us in the southern hemisphere, so there is a little bit of that in the design, which is really cool. Giant ants, so these guys are tough. 21 hit points, 2 armor, and they have acid spray. Acid's armor negating, and is one of the few damage channels that has very little resistance. So I love doing acid damage when possible, but not a lot of things do it. Ants like to take your farms, though. Frizuns, the demonologist, has been eliminated by the Priest King. Ooh, that's rough. Alright, we'll do that. We're going to dance around here and just see what else we can find. I do want to eliminate these eventually because they're going to be summoning King's troops that we'll eventually have to put down again. Of course, 2 serpents, though. That should be... Nope, it's not an overrun. Darn it. Alright. Giant spiders eyeing our mine there. He wants it. He wants it bad. Alright, battle in Savannah. This is nice and easy. Undead are immune to poison, so poison is not really a concerning thing for us. So, alright, we're going to go here. Yeah, I figured it was going to be another jungle, so we're going to slow roll it there. Yeah, I'm thinking we go with the Markman. Yeah, we'll do that. So when they're green, you can recruit them. They're mercenary recruits, they call. Sometimes you'll get ones that you can get that are limited time offers. Well, they're all usually limited time offers, but you can recruit them and a regular recruit at the same time. So, let's see, for you, let's just do the crossbows for now so that we can defend it. And we'll eventually get him an army so he can travel and mostly recapture stuff that we've lost. That's expensive. Alright. Alright, let's kill this guy. Ooh, good. I'm glad we did come down here. We'll take out the coastal hamlet. And this way this guy doesn't steal. Because the independents are going to roam around and take your stuff. If you're not careful, so... we're at 63 Hands of Glory. Can't really do anything with them yet. We'll do that next round here. Alright, Summer's here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get our Necromancer back out, Anselm. Let's go ahead and do a Ritual of Mastery. And so now Anselm can do some interesting stuff. If he has 50 animal carcasses and 50 Hands of Glory, he can animate an abomination, which is a really cool creature. It actually grows by consuming corpses. Or he can do a blood rite. He turns a Markgraf into a vampire. And that's why I want Markgraf. So that is, we have to find an old castle ruin to do that, though. So that's important. And then once we find that castle ruin, we have to defend it with our lives. Because basically, every time we send the vampire out, if he's slain, he turns back into a cloud of dust and will reform in my vampire's home. So you basically you keep reviving, so you don't have to worry about losing your commander. It's huge. I love it. However, last time I had it, it wasn't enough to defeat our enemies. They just had the right army compositions. But yeah, you can get a band of vampires and start wrecking armies with them if you get the right spells and abilities. So that's definitely something that I want to do at some point. Let's see. Nothing special there. We'll crash into you, and looks like we got more resources to find here. So that's good. Getting ourselves a nice little start here. I have to say I'm pretty happy with this. We've got gold. So it said Markgraf, huh? Interesting. So it can only be me? Oh, I forgot. We got level 2 spells. Dance Macabre summons 1 to 5 long deads. I prefer that over Disease. Soul Vortex summons 1 to 6, or does 1 to 6 damage. It's magic and drain. Drain is important because essentially you can deal damage to an enemy, and you'll heal any damage you dealt, and you can go up to double your life. So I'll be able to get up to 8 hit points. Not great, but at a burst 9, that's a really good effect. It doesn't affect lifeless beings, so our undead aren't affected because you can do friendly fire in the game as well. So that's a really nice spell. I love that. The only downside is we're so far back, and it only has a range of 5. So, oh, didn't want to view that again. So nice and easy there. Grab this for extra gold. All right, Markmeister. Do some exploring. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna take this town. I should have enough crossbows, or I'll be able to get enough crossbows going. Alright, Vintno, let's see. You've got a horde of crossbows here. Let's go ahead and give you some melee troops here. And then we'll send you out here. Do I want... I want the hammerers, but no, let's get defenders. Yeah, we got the iron, so we'll get defenders for now. And take a look here. So give me just a moment. I'm going to pause, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back here. So, all right, so we got that. So we're going to go ahead and take care of some boars here. They're going to do some damage. These guys can tear through, but with our armor, we're going to be A-okay. I'm going to guess they killed one. Nope. Wow, look at that. Crossbows. Ah, something hidden. Hate hidden things. Alright, we're going to take care of it, though, because I need that coastal hamlet. Let's see. We've got the resources. Let's get ourselves some more crossbows. And, yeah, let's go ahead and crash and kill these guys. These guys like to come up and attack and take our stuff. They're little raiders. Ichthyid warriors, your captain. They come from the sea and just try and steal all your stuff. So you want to kill them. So we got this. These are bandits. So when you get ambushed, all your troops get lined up like this. So it's kind of rough. And then basically your leaders are in danger. So hopefully we'll be A-okay because our troops will go out and engage right away. But we'll see. Yeah, because they're ranged attackers, so brigands are tough. And our range is nowhere near. But he's going to eat them alive with his spell. So he's at 8 of 4 hit points there. So, put some faith in my troops there. So luckily it paid off there. And then these guys can throw... Or they have spears. I think he has a trident. Okay, no, so... Yeah. They're tough, though, as you can see. They've got their armor and shield. And a decent amount of hit points as well. So they managed to kill 4 of my hobmarked defenders. Luckily, we get them in batches of 15. So, alright, we'll do a little bit more exploring here. We're about to end our video here today. Seahorses or sea dogs, you're just threatening, but that's okay. Grab some more defenders. Alright, we're going to leave that batch of crossbow behind. Alright, 10 spearmen for 88 gold. So that's actually pretty good since spearmen are 5 per 50 gold. So sometimes you get decent deals and those are kind of worth looking at. Because again, our human spearmen have double the hit points, but they don't have the armor. They do have the shield. So since we're slow anyways, I'd rather spend it on 15 guys for 50 gold instead. So that's what we're going to do. I guess we'll kill you, even though it's going to cause us to slow down. We'll be able to eliminate these guys. Nice and easy. They're nothing to write home about. They do hit pretty hard for a horse. 1 to 6 damage, and they only have 8 hit points, though, so our crossbows make short work of them without armor. Alright. Okay, we got some jungle, or some swamp. We'll just move back. What do I want to do here at this point? I think we need more crossbows, so we'll do that. Okay. Oh yeah, and just to show this off, let's go ahead and transfer Ansem out. So once you become level 2, using the Ritual of Mastery, you become a Grand Necromant, but your Ritual of Mastery stays, so you can learn new rituals at half the price. So the first time, which is what you level up with, you do that, but now I can do these and learn new rights here, so which we'll probably do in a little bit here, because right now the rights I have aren't going to be that useful. So, all right, so you're done. One more turn here, and I think we'll call it. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's take all but that. And you're going to go here. And you guys... Well, let's kill these guys so that they don't steal my stuff. And then both of them are going to crash into the town here. So, and those crossbows should be able to overcome their crossbows. Nice. Alright. Let's finally take the walls here, shall we? Alright, Ventno and... there. So we've got ourselves a nice block. Our crossbows will get into range and start shooting. They're going to do some damage for sure. They're going to get some kills in, but I think we'll be A-okay. So, Horsetown, let's do it. So we lost 18 guys, and they killed 18 guys. So I think we came out on the better end, though, because we took the town, which is fantastic. Spirit Eye, ooh, that would be useful. 10 swordsmen, and okay, and stupid ants. All right, we'll have to take care of the ants. Let's, before we forget, let's transfer these guys to defend the town. We'll send both forces into here. We'll retake our stuff, and then I think we'll call it here. All right, small graveyard. Perfect. All right, so 10 archers for 58 gold. That is actually something worth thinking about. See, this cavalryman spawned from one of these, and he's already taken some of my stuff. So, all right, we'll go ahead and call it here, though. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. I can't wait to play through this one. This is going to be a lot of fun. Also, it's going to be awesome once we finish it so that we can open ourselves up and try out some interesting things for sure. So I hope you continue to join me on this journey. And if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time.